As uncertainty prevailed over reopening of Vibgaya High, news of reopening the school poured in after the new police commissioner met the parents of other students of Vibgaya. Amidst all these, protests against rapes continued across the state.
It was an action-packed day for Bengaluru today. After the rape of a 6-year-old in Vibgaya High came to light, the parents of the other students seemed to be in a dilemma. But the parents saw a ray of hope today. After meeting Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, the new police commissioner, M.N. Reddy, headed straight to Vibgaya High in Marathahalli. He spoke to the school management and then with the waiting parents. The concerned parents have been mulling over sending their children back to school, but they can't do this unless Bengaluru police and the government assure them that their kids are safe. They have demanded the management to implement better safety measures so that they can send their children back to school.
Investigating officer who is doing the investigation will give us advice on what points lacuna were found, on what points the loopholes were found, etc. Based on that, action will be taken.
But despite loud protests and meetings with ministers and the top cops, Bengaluru police seem to have taken no action whatsoever against the authorities of Vibgaya High.
See, the investigation is going on in the right direction. There are certain constraints which are there in the investigation. The child is a small child, and the version given by the child, we are trying to look at each and every aspect. There are a lot of CCTV cameras. Some of the CCTV cameras are not working. So to analyze the CCTV footage of all these cameras is a very painstaking task, and a big team has actually been set up to study every second of the CCTV footage. So it's going to take some time.
Meanwhile, the National Human Rights Commission had sought a report to the controversial case. The Commission has observed that the reports on this incident so far raise serious issues of violation of rights of a child. NHRC has now issued a notice to the Chief Secretary, Director General of Police, the Karnataka government and Deputy Commissioner of the city, calling for a report within 2 weeks. Vibgaya High to reopen tomorrow. At least this was what was told by Primary Education Minister Kimmane Ratnakar, who met parents, staffers and management of the school today. It was mid-morning when a group of parents, staffers and management gathered at room number 318 at the Vikas Saudha. The decision came after the meeting with the minister on Monday. The minister said that the government will come up with a decision that would be in the best interest of both the parents and 3,500 students. However, when News9 caught up with a few parents, they refused to send their children to school until next week, quite in contrast to what the minister had earlier stated. Protests continue across the state. Amidst these developments, protests against increasing rape cases continue to rock Karnataka. Starting with BJP's protest in Freedom Park to Akhila Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad's protest in various districts, voices against the heinous crime saw a rise. The BJP's protest became so severe that several leaders like former Deputy Chief Minister R. Ashoka, Y. Ramakka and former Minister Katta Subramanya Naidu were detained by the police. ABVP intensifies protests. Students of ABVP held rallies and protested against rape cases across various districts in the state. Hundreds of ABVP students took to the streets and raised their voices against the heinous incidents. The ABVP held protests in Mangalore, Ramnagara, Bijapur, Chitradurga, Gulbarga, Hubli, Koppal and Yadgir. AIWF protests in Davangere. The All India Women's Forum also staged a protest in Davangere. The protesters burnt effigies and formed a human chain shouting slogans against the crimes. Students protest in Bagalkote and Udupi. Various college students in Bagalkote and students of Manipal University in Udupi also staged protests against the rape incidents. Hundreds of students held rallies and shouted slogans in protest against such incidents. The new commissioner met the parents and Vibgyor might reopen from tomorrow, but the protests are still continuing across the state. Will the 6-year-old get justice? Will the chief minister understand the gravity of the situation at least now? A News9 report.
After accusing 3 CJIs of the Madras High Court of making improper compromise, Justice Kachchu today posed 6 questions to one of the accused judges. But even amidst the big controversy, former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh continued to remain silent.
The row over the revelations made by Justice Kachchu seems to have deepened. The Lok Sabha today saw uproarious scenes over the issue as Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad said the system of appointing judges needed to be improved.
And there is an imperative need to improve upon the system of appointment of honorable judges. And therefore, our government, with greatest respect, Honorable Speaker, Madam, is quite keen to ensure that the National Judicial Commission system is appointed. That's what we are saying. That's all.
Justice Kachchu, who has accused 3 CJIs of the Madras High Court of making improper compromise under the pressure of a Congress ally in Tamil Nadu, today posed 6 questions to one of them. These are the questions that he posted on his blog. Is it not correct that I first wrote him a letter from Chennai stating that there were serious allegations of corruption about an additional judge of Madras High Court? Is it not correct that on my request, Justice Lahoti ordered a secret IB inquiry against that judge? Is it not correct that a few weeks after I personally met him in Delhi and then returned to Chennai, he told me that the IB gave a report corroborating the allegations? Is it not correct that after receiving the adverse IB report, Justice Lahoti called a meeting of the 3-judge Supreme Court Collegium? Is it not correct that after the recommendation of the 3-judge Collegium of the Supreme Court, he wrote a letter to the government seeking a 1-year term extension? Why did he recommend another 1-year term to the corrupt judge in question? Though Justice Kachchu posed 3 questions, the ones accused have maintained silence. Meanwhile, retired Justice R.S. Sodhi hit back at Justice Kachchu for making these allegations after such a long time.
Justice Kachchu, according to me, is a loose cannon. I don't think Justice Kachchu can be taken seriously every time. After 20 years, or whatever time it may be, he rakes up an issue of which he himself is a party. As a Chief Justice, it was his duty to bring to the notice of any wrongdoing. And if that wrongdoing was not addressed or was addressed incorrectly, he could have protested in writing.
Several political leaders too questioned Justice Kachchu's intention in remaining silent for such a long time and making these allegations now.
Personally, I doubt what Justice Kachchu was saying. Why has he said it after 10 years, number one? Secondly, what is the need to bring in these sort of issues when this long afterwards, when it's already now the new government is in power? What was the need for it? I think he want to curry favor with this local government.
His claim or his accusation and charges have been validated by then the former law minister, Mr. Bhardwaj, where he said yes, the pressure had come. And secondly, one of the former Chief Justice also said that the judge in question had relationship with the DMK party and therefore he was transferred from Tamil Nadu to Andhra Pradesh. It does open a big question of how the UPA government under Manmohan Singh was influencing the judiciary or interfering with the judiciary to give gains to either the coalition partners or for themselves.
Amidst the controversy, former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh has remained tight-lipped on the entire issue. It was under his rule that the alleged improper compromises had taken place. But why is Dr. Manmohan Singh silent? Does the silence of the former Prime Minister indicate that there might be some truth in Justice Kachchu's words? Meanwhile, the AIADMK has demanded for immediate investigations into the matter, as it was the DMK which was the only ally of the Congress in Tamil Nadu at that time. Soon after coming to power, the new government seems to be facing a lot of challenges. Will the Modi government be able to expose the truth? Only time can tell. A News 9 report.
In some good news for Shumi fans, the F1 champion, who is recovering from a near-fatal crash, has started communicating with his family. Here's the latest update.
For Michael Schumacher to win the World Championship, to give Ferrari and Italy their dream.
The five-time world champion Michael Schumacher, who recovered from a coma last month after a shocking skiing incident, is currently undergoing rehabilitation in a Lausanne clinic. According to reports, he is making good progress and has started communicating to his family, but in a unique way. The sports star woke up from a medically induced coma last month after sustaining grievous injuries when he smashed his head against rocks while skiing in the French Alps in December. Though Shumi remains paralyzed, he is able to answer questions from his wife and children by fluttering his eyes. This comes as a huge relief to his family, as they have been in a state of shock after the legend met with a tragic accident. Doctors at the clinic in Switzerland hope to have Michael sit upright in an advanced electronic wheelchair that he can control with his mouth in a few weeks. Also, according to media reports, doctors have developed a revolutionary microchip implanting technique to help him. It is believed that the chip could enable him to walk and talk again after his extended period in coma. Now that Shumi has made the first sign of communication, we can only hope he will be back on his feet soon. Here's wishing the legend a speedy recovery. A News9